Good morning, everybody. I believe we have all green across the board. If I can get a desktop audio check from the Discord folks, Solbert, if you will.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, there we go. I got green. I don't know about you guys, but I can hear you. uh,
Yeah, I hear you well so far, yeah, miss.
right on, Jeff. Oh man, what a day! I woke up, did nothing. I drank my coffee, did nothing, and then I went live. I just kind of sat here like this for the past, few hours. uh, I had a thought for a topic because of last night's show. Um, unless, of course, unless natural progression of the show takes over. But let me say hi to everybody. Good morning, Trail Dust. Bacon, hashtag not a sponsor. Bacon, is a sponsor for everybody, you know? Like, bacon grows on trees. You can just get bacon. Mountain Home Forge, how you doing? DK Ironworks, what up? Mountain Home Forge is driving, so he's just here to leave a like, possibly listen in. Lurkers, hello. Henry, St. Street Forge, good morning. Mick Chu, what up, brother? Mr. Lonis, how you doing? Eric, Dogbone, Frontier Forge. I always trip on this name, even though I know I can say it. What's up, Ben? Jeff Kren, how you doing? Steven Parsons, good morning. Dwayne, what up? Mark S. And yeah, and if you comment, somebody, I think it was Steve. Gotta check my YouTube comments. Attempted a Mawabo. Anytime you attempt something, especially if it's something inspired by me, toss it up in the Discord Island Metal Forge gallery so we can see it. But
Hey, Yamez, I digress. Our conversation earlier, I had done that, and then I moved it over to another server. So I've got like 3 days left before I can move it back.
right. Yeah, I'm
I,
only boosting two.
yeah, I wanted to. That's the one I moved over to CM,
I'd
and
leave. Well, maybe leave it on CM. I don't know if you still have it over there at EM, but
well,
email.
no, I do, but I've got the other one in. I've got the other one in a different server. That I mean, like I'm the only booster there, and really it makes no difference. So I
Okay,
think I'll just when my week's up, I'll move that one back over here.
I got you. Unless it's a growing server, then leave it. We're talking servers, guys. Hey, Sister Donut. We're talking
No,
server
no,
booster stuff.
we no, it's my Forge of Empires server. It's been around for like 5 years, but we don't ever use voice. It's just strictly like leadership threads and stuff like that. So
Gotcha. Okay. Um, yeah, if y'all don't, the benefit to boosting the server, guys, is you get increased audio bit rate, like better audio. Let me see if I can pull this up and kind of show you guys. Right now we're at level 2 with 2 boosts. So we have 128 kbps audio quality, and we can do more custom stickers, more custom server emojis. Level 2 gives you 256 kbps, and then level 3 does something else I don't know. I'm not doing that. but but yeah, this, not telling y'all boost the server, just saying, like what we're talking about, boost, as the server levels up, we get better quality audio is the main thing for this server. Um, and as a booster, you get cool perks. You can upload larger files and such, you know, um, stuff like that. So uh, it's neat. It's neat. Um, Ben is perfect. Great. What's up, Bill Corey? Yes, this is the place. Good morning, Greg. Neil, how you doing, man? Robert Whitney. um, on my frustration last night. What's up, Insanity? Howdy, Mike. Um, I didn't continue working on the jellyfish last night. For some reason, the mosquitoes were just attacking me. So I called it a night. What's up, Wayne? Yeah, no, my frustration wasn't with anybody in particular. It was kind of internal. I was trying to read the chat, do my work, read the chat, and every time I'd look up at the chat, I'd see a line saying, "You're doing it wrong." And it's like, let me get you guys off my face here. um, so it's like, it was just what I was doing. I know works mainly because if you continued watching the series or watching the video instead of rage quitting because I was getting pissy, you'll see that what I was doing actually started to work. I didn't even think about the heatsink thing, but yeah. In my shop, it's really hard. Bill Wheel brought up move the cameras to the scene. It's in my shop. That's not exactly easy because the clutter in my shop and the way I have to have my computer set up, I can't really cross wires. It's a nightmare to do it. Roy's lurking. This is actually the topic I have an idea for would be a good one if Roy wanted to hop in, because I'm sure he's got thousands of these, okay, or has had over the years. Morning, Robert. Morning, Sean. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
So are you saying that there's no point in going back to rewatch last night's stream then?
No. Once the initial frustration, like if you watch last night's stream, you can see exactly what I was doing, what was causing the problem before I did. Okay, and once I got that problem sorted, it went just smooth and awesome from there on out. I was working on the jellyfish, and so far I'll post a picture up here, and it's kind of part of my topic that I just thought about to bring up. Hang on, let me get this picture up.
Right. I mean, I saw it in whatever you posted in last night, either in Off Topic or in Booster General. I don't remember where it was.
I posted it everywhere.
I woke up at 6 p.m. And got my butt ready for work, went to work. I'm still at work and will likely still be here at 2 o'clock in the morning tonight, tomorrow, whatever the heck. So, I mean, I might have time.
Right. But anyway, all right, so... Sorry. No, yeah, no. Watch it on your own time. It's. You don't have to watch the whole thing. It's neat to see. I'm gonna probably rewatch it to see how it framed out. But good morning, Tommy. Yeah. Remember, does anybody have a date or like a rough time frame? Time works weird in my head on when I started that. Or decided to take that sploot bowl from Roy and turn it into a jellyfish. Like, I'm like, all right, screw it, I'm gonna make it a jellyfish. And then I said that, and then set it on the workbench, and I haven't touched it until last night. Like, I hadn't even thought about it until last night. Does anybody remember when that was? Because to me it feels like months, but it could not be. 3 weeks ago. I'm getting better. So the topic is, let me tell you guys, it felt amazing mentally, psychologically, almost physically to jump back on this project. Okay? Like it felt invigorating to jump back on it. And as craftspeople and creative people and everything, I'm sure our workbenches are filled to the brim with unfinished or half-finished projects or ideas that we wanted to try started but got distracted by the next shiny thing, you know? And, the question is how often do you actually go back to those pet projects of yours? You know, like, I am so invigorated and like re-inspired for this project that I'm worried that I'm going to work on it over anything else that I need to work on. And it's difficult, as I'm sure many of you know. It's difficult when you've only got so much shop time, and either you've got some orders to fill, or something that keeps you from a pet project. About 5 months ago, 3 weeks ago. That's how my brain works. It's like 5 months can be 3 weeks, 3 weeks can be half a year. Uh, I don't know. Um, there's many ways of getting things to get things done, but the best way to do something isn't always apparent at the time. Exactly. My original plan for that, Roy, was to use copper wire as the tentacles, but I forgot to look up how to braze copper to steel, A, and B, melting steel together was just all around easier. Somebody's popping in. Huh?
I said with brass.
Yeah. Speargrass is in the house. DK's in the house.
Hey,
Yeah.
how are ya?
How are you? Copper butterfly.
Really, really healthy.
Really healthy. Nice. ADD is ubiquitous among smithers. I love it. And for those in the voice chat, just interrupt me if if you got something to say. Community chat. uh, I'm trying.
Okay, everybody can't get a word in edgewise, and then it's just like chirp, chirp,
Yeah,
chirp.
yeah. I'm trying to decode Charming Hollow Forge. Copper butterfly joints and steel. Cough, cough, wink, wink. I know Hans does amazing joinery. Copper butterfly joints. And I know what he's talking about. Yeah. Okay. How you doing, Hansi?
I was just thinking, by the same account, something you could do, like, I don't know, like drill a small hole in the top of the jellyfish, stick your piece of copper up over the top, kind of just barely paint it over so it's got like a little mushroom head, stick it down on there and braise that too. I don't know. I mean, that's just, instead of just like sticking it to the bottom of the bowl, I don't know, just shotgunning ideas.
Going with that's one of the things that I thought about, going with the copper, and that would have been real neat to do, because it would have given a little bit of color to the top of it, to the body of the jellyfish. But I do want to, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, because it is a cumbersome piece. I do want to polish the top of that a little bit, and give it a bit of a shine. But copper to steel, I use brazing rods. So that's the thing, guys. I know it's possible. I know it's not difficult. I just completely forgot that that's what I was going to do, and said copper to, or words, steel to steel. Yeah. Spotted jellyfish.
With the copper to steel, don't forget your galvanic reactions too could actually cause rust and stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind when you're doing something like that. That those differential metals can actually cause corrosion. So if it's structural or whatnot, be aware that that will happen in future.
Yeah. Yeah, I know about that because when I was an electrician up in Chicago, we ran steel pipe, and any time that we had to cross a copper pipe, we had to rubber tape both the electrical pipe and the copper pipe to prevent any galvanic corrosion. Uh, I just got to say, chat's looking pretty fat today. You guys are awesome. Not calling you guys fat, but you know, Hansi, how you doing? Miss you, buddy. Um, but yeah, on that, I just had the thought, you know, when you were talking about, you know, the rust, I'm like, but I'm gonna spray it with clear coat, but the galvanic corrosion happens would happen under the clear coat, and oof. Um, which brought me to how I'm gonna finish. There is no possible way that I'm gonna be able to polish the tentacles, and I was looking at it, and the little flecks of scale from heating them up to bend them, and the little bits of old dried up flux from them being welding rods adds a little bit of a texture that you would get on the tentacles. So I think I'm going to clear coat them as is, and I think that'll be pretty freaking sweet, you know. uh, so so yeah. Y'all obviously know what project that I'm working on from the past. You know, I'd let you know, share some of the stuff that you guys are would like to get back to. You know, because a lot of it could be you have this grand idea and either don't have the time or haven't acquired the necessary skill set for it just yet. Rob's busy this morning. I hear you, man. But yeah, you know, what y'all got? Hey Curtis, hey Bloobs, hey Matt.
This is really the first opportunity I've had to speak to all you mob since the live stream I did for you about what a month and a half
Right,
ago. So I'm now happily moved into my new property, and so I'm on the block. I'd like to get back to just anything because the workshop's not built yet. I have all the pieces, I just don't have the area cleared. But now it's just setting up the house so it looks so I've got painting on the walls, paintings and stuff on the walls like you do behind you there, Yarmez,
yeah,
and making it look like a home. Had my housewarming last night, so I got a few gifts from that, but. Yeah, no, got the new anvil and the new portable forge with a Sydney blower on it, so it's an old Sydney blower, and a new about a 102 weight 100 weight anvil, so that will go on to, and a real anvil. So I'm not retiring Tiny. I've told a few people, and they're all worried that I'm retiring Tiny. Tiny's not being retired, but that's all sitting in a 20-foot shipping container ready to be moved to the new workshop when it's built. That is high on the priority list of things that need to be done because I'm dying not being able to do any forging. But
right,
then the list of things I need to keep doing when this new block just keeps growing and growing, and of course there's a honeydew list as well, which is another list that keeps growing as well. But yeah, that's what I'm up to at the moment.
right, yeah. Getting set up in the new place. Lucky. What's up, John Cat? Yeah. I mean, once you get up, I'd love to see pictures of the new setup. You mentioned anvil, and that reminded me. I gotta, I asked questions about this anvil on Facebook, and one of the first responses was, "It's a doorstop." It's like, no, it's not. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not a doorstop. Um, you know, I got this anvil,
Design.
huh?
It's a really interesting design. It doesn't have it's not a typical London pattern design. It doesn't have the chisel step.
The cutting table, right? I got this for free.
Yeah, I totally spaced off. I was going to bed when you were on your way to go pick that up. Yeah, I didn't. Where'd you post pictures of that at?
In the Discord and on Facebook. Um, but yeah, I was asking about what it was, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's a doorstop." It's like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. This, and then I got a little bit more information on it. It seems this anvil is either, like no later than 1830s, supposedly. Um, and like somebody was dating this man. It's a colonial style. It's doesn't have any maker's marks that I can tell. But they were saying, yeah, anywhere between the 1700s and 1830. You know, uh, Allsop, I think, is one of the manufacturers that they tossed around. Um, doesn't have a pritchel hole. Using my ball peen, it's got a nice ring, and I was dinging it around, and it's got a solid sound all around it. So I do think that it is all steel, but I don't know for fact. You know, like with my Fishers, which have the cast iron body with a steel face. It's like I could tap the face and get a nice rebound, and then tap the side and it's a dull thunk and it stops. This thing has a little bit of a bounce, everywhere. So it's like it's not a doorstop, it's not a boat anchor. Uh, those comments, yeah, those comments, like irritated me to no end. I mean, what if I was a new smith, happy to have my first new anvil, and was excited about it, and popped it up, and it's like this thing, especially once the face is cleaned up, is a perfectly usable anvil. Heck, this little plate is a perfectly usable anvil.
Hey, if you don't want to, I mean, like you can pass it along to me, and I'll use it as a doorstop. I mean, that would make a sweet doorstop.
Oh
Just
yeah.
saying.
Well, if I had a door to stop, I would use it. No, no, I'm building up my anvil and anvil shaped object collection to host people at my shop. So be it for lessons or be it for guests coming by, and yeah, but you can't beat free.
I think one thing that's been really irritating me lately, in general, and we've talked about it, yeah, on not only on church, but people have talked about it across our community for a long time, and that's gatekeeping elitists.
Yes,
As a beginner, first of all, we all started out as beginners, but as a beginner, any anvil or any block of steel is a great thing to start on. It doesn't have to be hardened steel. I mean, look at the Mastermere find. I mean that they were small, max 2-inch sized anvils that they made knives and swords and all sorts of things on. Um, and they would then anvils like that were used hundred thousands of years. We use large anvils now for the work that we do simply because we can. I mean, like an anvil is really a status symbol for us, right? But like an actual proper, London pattern or German pattern or whatever pattern anvil is a status symbol. But I've seen it time and time again on forums and stuff like that about people saying that your new anvil's a boat anchor. So what
yeah,
if it's a new smith and he gets him heat and metal and swinging and it's something to hit against. I mean, and I was saying to someone the other day, there was actually a guy here in my local area that posted a 1886 Atwood anvil that was made in London and it was 100, it was the same weight as mine, 102 weight, so about 50 kilos, or I think that's about 80 odd pounds or something like that. But it's a fairly heavy anvil, and he was asking $2,000, and it was like, okay, that's probably a bit on the high side, but the same thing, it was like it's a boat anchor. It's like, well, no, it's just to get someone starting out heating and beating on metal. That's fine. It's a tool. No one ever owns it. No one ever owns an anvil. We only caretake it until the next smith takes it.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm a firm believer in that. But yeah, it's you bring up the gatekeeping in the community. It's something that it's like it's prevalent in most communities, and uh, you don't see it nearly as much in the blacksmithing community as you do in others. But when you do see it, it's like, wow, why? You know, like, why? That's why I did that first fire series, to show that, you know what? Screw the people that say you can't. Go ahead, do it. You know, I mean, hell, I forged with a brick. Literal.
Came to a head for me because I saw someone said was asking about lawnmower blades, and I've made knives and all sorts of things out of my lawnmower blades, particularly when I was royally first starting out. And one guy said, 1084 is cheap, and it's kind of like, well, yes, 1084 is cheap, but I said, where are you getting free 1084 from? He went, I said it's cheap. It's like, no, I compared to free lawnmower blades, in that context, and you're getting 1084 for free. Where do you get your 1084 for free? He goes, well, and this guy said, well, if you can't afford 1084, then it's your own fault. It's like, hang on. First of all, and from my perspective, as you guys know, I'm not in the US. A 3 meter, or what's that, 9 foot length of 1084 costs me $120 plus delivery fee. So, that's 150 odd dollars Australian, which is probably only about 110 bucks US. But that's a fair slap of money for me. It might only cost 30 odd bucks US where you guys are, plus 10 bucks delivery, but that's a big price disparity. So, yeah, whilst it might be cheap for someone that's stateside, everywhere else in the world is, it can be a bit more expensive, and you can't beat free, like you just said.
Yeah,
I'd much rather practice on free crappy steel or a free anvil, before I invest the money in good stuff, so
right.
that I learn how to treat my tools and my materials, and how to work them properly. And then when I invest in good tools and good steels and stuff like that, I get the most out of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, uh, exactly. It's like the people who bash people who use railroad spikes. It's like, get over it. Roy's got the best tip, and honestly, Roy, I'm really, really pushing towards that myself soon. Get off Facebook. You know, um, I am seriously considering removing my personal profile and just leaving my business profile up there. You know.
Oh, what am I, chopped liver? I haven't been saying that for the last 3 years, have I? I mean, come on now.
Yeah. Sully's been telling me it constantly. I just said Roy because he literally just said it in the chat. Come on.
Yeah,
But
there is no greater freedom than getting rid of Facebook. Oh, it feels amazing.
good morning, Boar. Um, yeah,
They're rather tasty.
especially now that we have Discord. I'd much rather use Discord than Facebook. You know, it's cleaner. It doesn't have all the sponsored posts. You know, it's like arg. Um,
Arizona tea, hashtag not sponsored.
yeah,
Well, I mean, just like, what was it? I don't know, like 2-3 days ago, I was sitting there and I was just really frustrated. I was like, gee, what is going on? Why are all my YouTube ads in Spanish? And they have been for like 6 months. And I'm just one day it came up in Spanish, and then the next ad was in English, and then it's been Spanish ever since. And I was like, man, what is going on? I had to Google it and be like, oh, my location services is turned off. And so I went to location services, and it had me set as Nicaragua is where I was at.
it's not pronounced Nicaragua.
Google was advertising to me as if I was in Nicaragua.
It's not pronounced Nicaragua. It's pronounced Nicaragua. uh,
Yeah, that just reminds me. I'm Jose Jalapeno on a stick.
it's jalapeno.
Speak.
On his steak.
Man, oh God, I'm gonna be doing that all day. I'm gonna be walking around. Somebody's gonna say something. I'm gonna be like, on a steak.
On his steak. I will say on Roy's point there, and Sully's point, for the Facebook point, I don't post a lot on Facebook, and I don't really comment a lot on Facebook. I am currently right now more just I scroll through it and read, and just doing that lately has been getting my blood pressure just so I might get rid of Facebook just for that, just so that I don't have that temptation to scroll through it. If I want to scroll through something, I'll scroll through. Well, Reddit ain't much better. You know, I sure will miss the ads. That's another thing I got to do, Robert Lonis. The that piece, the hashtag. What's that weigh? About a pound?
Yeah, those are fun right there.
Yeah. Let's see, back to the chat. Well, I guess I went on a little rant and everybody's talking about it. I don't want to talk about Facebook anymore. Good morning, James Jones. How you doing?
Yeah, oh yeah, you're just gonna leave it like that. It's like, all right, I'm thinking about getting rid of Facebook. End rent. We're not talking about that anymore.
Yeah. Smallest anvil you have? Little itty bitty.
The anvil I have is the stump anvil that I made for the Forge Cast challenge. It was about 2 inches by 2 inches square by about an inch thick.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good question. What's the smallest thing you've forged on?
Smallest thing that I've forged on. I can officially say, trailer ball hitches, how they got that small flat spot? No, I forged on something smaller. The head of a claw hammer. I used the head of a claw hammer as an anvil. Mm-hmm. It was cool. It was like in my first year of blacksmithing, I felt so proud of myself because I was at a job. It was like dead of winter, and I was working on a control panel, and I needed a tiny screwdriver that I did not have. Well, I had a collection of old Allen keys, and the drywallers had a torpedo torch, like house heater in there while they were drywalling. And I took my pliers, held the Allen key, and stuck it in there. Got it nice and hot, and then right on the floor, I used my linesman's pliers as a hammer, and the claw hammer as an anvil, and booshed it flat, and then quenched it in snow, and then used it to finish the job. Blacksmithing. Smallest thing I've ever used is
The
an
way you
anvil.
make it too.
Huh? What? A cobbler's anvil? There you go.
I think it was Daniel and I spoke at the same time. I said, find a way, make a way, and make the tool you need.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Paul Fontanini. Yeah, I've done giving up on that group. Smoking garlic and beef tallow to baste ribeyes with a compound butter, so I've gotta go. Have a good week. You freaking culinary genius. The old snow quench. Yeah, you know. But yeah, it's like I was so proud of myself. I mean, yeah, it was simply just flattening the end of a piece of steel, but like it I needed it, and I think what I did was I curled the L, the other side of the thing. I heated that up and curled it with my needle nose to make a little key ring thing. And when I cleaned my key rings, I took it off just so that I had that screwdriver. but yeah. Hey, Nidavellir. Watchmaker anvils are even smaller than that, right? um, lost somebody. Mm. Oh, Roy's at the beach. Right? You go, yeah. You have a small victory and you celebrate and you go, oh, nobody saw that. Oh, sad. uh, but uh, but yeah, it's man. I'll be honest, my brain is all over the place right now with the multitudes of topics. 85 sounds warm. It's only 79 here. Exactly, trail dust. Everyone is there when you trip. You know, it's like when you screw up, everybody just sees it. uh, yeah, I know that. Brain fart. I'm gonna pass the mic over to Sully and let him just ramble on. Oh, speaking of Sully, I made he sent me that graphite a while back, and I finally got around. I found a container and I mixed it, and I've got a olive oil and graphite peanut butter.
Right? Have you tried it out yet?
Have not. I don't. I need to make. I need to get some A33. I need to find time to get up to the guild and get some more A33 because I need to make more hammers. But
yeah, just be aware. Like I'm saying, there's going to be some splatter involved when you smack the drift. So I mean, it does get around a little bit, but I don't know. It seemed to do all right as long as you don't want the drift to stay in there.
so not something to do in a crowd.
Probably not. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, if it gets on my apron or whatever, and it gets on the wall, what have you, and graphite. I mean, it doesn't come off, so there's that.
Right. Now with that, I'm because the container that I have is not deep enough for my drift. It is for my punch, but not for my drift. I'm thinking of getting like a little paintbrush, to stick in there so that I can like paint the drift where I need it, when I'm drifting something.
Well, I don't know how well that would work. I mean, because like it's graphite suspended in oil. I mean, like when you stick it on the hot steel, the oil ignites and burns off and leaves the graphite behind. The only purpose of the oil is it's a medium to move the graphite around without it becoming airborne and having a severe inhalation hazard. So I mean, it does tend to keep it together fairly well. So it's going to burn, and I don't know. I mean, if you had it on a paintbrush, it's going to catch the brush on fire when you brush it on the hot steel.
Well, no, I'm going to brush it on the drift, not the hot steel.
Yeah, okay. I guess that would work. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah. Just brush it down the side of the drift. That would probably work.
Plus,
Cool.
Hans gave me an awesome metal paintbrush, that works fairly decent, that would work great for that. But yeah. I made an awesome fork yesterday at the market. It was a fork with a bottle opener on. It was great. It's in the toolbox somewhere.
You know what? That fork that I made last week or whatever, I finally customer took delivery of that yesterday. Ish. I don't know. Days kind of run together, but yeah, I hadn't thought of that. I mean, like he's a bottled beer drinker. I didn't even think about putting a bottle opener on the end. I just did. I drew out the curl and loop thing, and I was You mentioned bottle opener just now. I'm like, oh, that would have been a great idea.
Where I got that little idea, and I'm sure it's not a brand new idea, but Scott Seward, my buddy from the guild, he does demonstrations in markets and stuff like me, and he made a bunch of fire pokers, and they would not sell, would not sell, would not sell. All he did was took those same fire pokers and punched a bottle opener on the end, raised the price by $5, and he can't keep them in stock now. It's like,
right. I mean, of course, you've seen the grilling sets that have the bottle opener on the end of the spatula or what have you.
Well, I mean, especially if you're a beer drinker, you can buy a fire poker. Hell, you can sitting there around a campfire, you can, grab whatever piece of metal and use it as a fire poker. But, sitting around a campfire with a fire poker, beer bottle opener, bottle opener. Cool. Especially if you can bend it so that when the fire poker's stuck in the ground, the bottle opener ends like that. So all you do is go, Jano.
I'm going to add to those drink spikes that I forge. That you can sit the drink with the cooler in it, a koozie, and add a bottle opener of that because they stick in the ground anyway. So
Right. Oh, Matt White, I wouldn't mind seeing some Smiths forging their take on a spork. Most of mine end up as a spork because they're all jagged. My spoons. Roast a doggy and pop a cold one. Yep.
So I had a question for you, guys. You ever somebody brought this up earlier in the week? Have you ever have you ever had the like had a piece of hot steel flip up out of the tongs or whatever, and it's like whizzing by your head, and you do it's like you're in bullet time from the Matrix, where you turn or you duck to the left and you turn your head to the right and you watch the steel fly by in the space where your head just was at.
No, I usually just leave my face there. But no, I know what you're talking about. Like when something like that happens, like everything goes slow-mo and you track it to make sure that you either A, get out of the way, or B, know where it lands to grab it. If you're working with something and it starts flying, you have to stop what you're doing and pay attention to it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is. It's a bit like bullet time.
Yeah, I mean, because literally everything. I mean, it's like your brain turns everything into slow motion as soon as that happens. And I mean, for some reason, I don't remember what job it was I had, but I got ingrained in me. No matter what happens, if you drop something, don't try to catch it. And so just let it hit the floor, let it hit the ground, whatever. And it might have been when I first started swamping in the oil field. Like a piece of pipe rolling on the racks coming at you. Don't worry about trying to stop it. Just step out of the way, let it hit the ground. We'll pick it back up, put it on the racks, what have you. Anyways, yeah. So I don't think I've ever tried to catch a piece of flying steel, but I know people that have.
Yeah.
Like they instinctively reach out to grab it in the air. It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
When I was working in kitchens, that was an instinct and a skill to be able to grab something falling before it hits the ground, because you don't want to lose that steak, and that was definitely a instinct that I had to really stop you know. Yeah. But Aaron, I usually lose track on the first bounce. That's something that being an electrician helped me with. You know, being on the top of a ladder and dropping a screw, watching it hit the ground, and then tracking it where it bounces, so that you know that when you get down off the ladder, you can go find it. You know, so yeah, I'm not too bad at that. Oh, but yeah, it's definitely a trip. Definitely a trip. Sorry, checking some stuff right quick.
Another topic, what improvements in safety has everyone made in their workshops? You know, even if it's just as simple as, you know, cleaning and sweeping the floor, you know, buying a fire extinguisher or something like that. What improvements have you made, or do you intend to make in your workshop? Because we do a pretty dangerous vocation here.
That's a good question.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I had to pull my earplug bud out there for about a minute and a half. The boss just come up to me and said, "Oh, I forgot you were still here. Y'all go to the house, get some sleep. I can get this without you." Man, I ain't done nothing since they got here at 6 o'clock this morning. I've just been sitting waiting. I could have been gone and in bed already.
It sucks. At least you're on the clock. um, Safety. The question, Sully, is safety. What have you done, or what do you intend to do in your shop to improve your safety rating? Me, clean up, always. And I haven't done it. I've said I was going to do it, and I haven't done it. I said I was going to do it a couple of years ago, and I still haven't done it. But I'm going to do it. You know, getting the decluttering. I was working on roses, and I was like, you know, I call it mass production, but like I had, you know, my two vices holding 3 roses, and I was working with my torch, working on all 3 roses at the same time. And there's, you know, clutter around my vice stands, and I'm sitting there with a oxyacetylene hose, just walking over things, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna trip and burn my face. Declutter. Um, Oh, here's a good one, Shane. Sorry, hold on. What's everyone's favorite oil to coat an anvil so it doesn't rust? What are you talking about? Oh, I
I mean,
prob
like I said, my outside it's just rust.
yeah, I
Clean it
go.
off when the face, anyways. You know.
I live in one of the most humid areas, um, and it's like rust happens. I could put my anvil in a bucket or bucket a tub of, you know, oil, and it would still find a way to rust. You know, I don't. Rust happens. I am not rust on my tools and anvil and all that stuff is the least of my concerns. Yeah,
In my
miss.
workshop, it's called patina.
Yeah, patina. I love it. What is the next thing I want to make? Well, I want to finish this. I want to finish this jellyfish, but I really do want to make a quick jig for dinner bell triangles. You know, because I want to take and just crank them out and try and, you know, get my time like I did the horseshoes. Get my time on those things down to like, you know, a couple minutes to a finished product, so that I can sell them for a very low price and make some bank on them. I think that those would sell really well in my area. uh, Insanity needs to build a new shelf so he can clean his workbench off. There you go. That's the thing. Like, that's just replacing one horizontal surface with another. Sean Holland. I found the best thing to coat an anvil with to keep it from rusting is labor. There you go. Yeah. Rust happens. I want to make a shirt. Rust happens. You know? But
Yeah, it doesn't take long for hot steel to clean it right up.
yeah. I could polish my anvil face like at the end of my forging session. I could hit it with a flap wheel or a brush or something and get all the rust completely off of it. And then as I'm walking out the door, it will start to rust. It's just humid.
As you turn and walk away, you can hear the anvil rusting.
Yeah, I could turn around to grab some, WD-40 or something, and then turn back around and it's like rust. Yamas, what would you price that jellyfish at? Oh God, I have no clue. I don't know. Let's wait till it's done before I start thinking about. We were tossing around the idea of about $1,000, but like the amount of work that I in my mind have into this thing, for its completion, I don't know what price tag I would put on it, But I am saying this. Once this is done, it is up for sale. I will be posting it. I will probably be putting it on Etsy, be taking it to my shows. It is and will be up for sale for whoever wants to buy it. It will not be cheap. Okay? Just throwing that out there. Okay? Not saying, hey guys, buy this. You guys are my only demographic. No, I'll be that will be for sale, and that that is going to fund things for me.
Say, I will gladly pay you in Seamers today for a jellyfish tomorrow.
That I would do. That I would absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trail Dust. That number is kind of sitting in my mind, because of the amount of work that I imagine I'm going to be putting into it.
For me, over and over again over the last 2 weeks, people keep asking me how I price my work. I was actually speaking to my dad about it just the other day. I said it depends on the job, but like a couple of months back, I had another job for fitting a Suffolk latch to a door. I had to forge a Suffolk latch and then make the and then put and fix it to the door. And I went back to and spoke to one of my sales mentors because I come from a sales background, and he said to me, and I think I've said it to you, Yamas, previously. Oh, he goes, you cost your materials, how much you think you're worth an hour, and then multiply that by 3, and that gives you your rate. And then he explained to me why that works out, because particularly on a job where you've got to go and like do the fitting and stuff like that. He goes, if it takes you, say you think it's going to take you 2 days to do, and it ends up taking you 4 days, you can still charge that same price that you quoted, right? And you haven't lost money. Whereas if you charge that minimum amount, that if you're $50 an hour plus your cost, and it blows out to 4 days, now you're only charging $25 an hour, which is below what you're worth. So
Right.
so it works out that if you can balance that out a little bit, and that made a lot of sense to me. And it also gives you enough. It gives you enough, particularly if you're doing a show or something like that, give you a little bit of room to move, because you can have a price on it, and someone can come up and negotiate and go, that's a little bit more for me, and go, oh well, because I like you, I'll do it for this price, and you're still not losing out there. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Absolutely. I hear so many. The most common way I've heard to price ironwork from people across platforms is material plus time times 3. And I've done some of those calculations with some of my items and stuff, and those prices will not sell locally here, at all. Like, take my bowls, for example. I've had Roy tell me, like, some of the bowls that I've done, it's like what he would sell them for. And it's like, I'm a third of that price on my table, and people, oof. And it's like, I'm in the, for those items, my area is the wrong area. I have to do lower quality items to sell locally in my area, so like take the horseshoe hearts, for example, my best selling small item. I spent no more than 15 minutes on each. No more, like average of 10 minutes each. Hey,
what is your like local area population density or population ish? How many people in your area are?
Not a lot, but it's very rural. We have the Outer Banks and the tourists that come down. Next week, I'm planning on trying to cater to them, but I have to pull them off the road and get them into my yard, which is going to be tricky. It's going to require clever uses of signs. But
I was just kind of curious. Just because you're I mentioned in the past as well. You don't have much local business. That's fairly hard to do. And I was just trying to get an idea in comparison to mine, because my at home is maybe 100,000 people, and at work is maybe 600,000 people. In the area is what I mean. So I was just
right. Honestly, let me look up population. That's a good question. I'm sure it's pertinent.
Posted that he found his do it in reverse, find the amount that you need to live on, and then make things that allow that to happen. Not every item is worth making, and that's very true too. Sometimes there's some items that are just not worth the time and effort making. You can make 100 things that are really cheap to make and really fast to make that don't sell them, which makes them worthless. Where you've like your horseshoe hearts there, as that sells, and you've gotten yourself to a quicker bit a point that you can make them quickly and they sell well, and you can make some money off them, so that makes sense for you to make them.
Right, absolutely.
Adam, what's your population density out there? Like 2?
We've got let me see, I want to say about 30,000 people in our county. And it's not a tiny county.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Total population of the permanent population of Darwin, being the city, the two cities, and the actual capital, the surrounding outer city, and my area is 170,000 people, and that bumps up to about 230,000 when tourists come through. So that's probably what it is about now. But that's all of Darwin, all of the top end. So we've got a fairly small population.
Yeah.
That's way bigger than I thought it would be, though. I've looked at it on the map where you're at, and I'm like, man, there is nobody out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's I classify my area as within an hour's drive of where I actually live.
Yeah. Yeah. See, the thing about the hearts, pulling back to the because Roy's commenting, so the best way I found is to work in reverse. And then Insanity said, made about a dozen of the hearts and he can't give them away. They just, that one, I don't know if it was just that one time period or if they'll ever pop again for me, but I made roughly about, between 150 and 200 hearts over the course of like a month and a half, and sold them at $15 a piece. If I can do something simple, like that's why I like the door or the triangle chime. If I can find a way to expedite that into pass the whole hot bar through my propane forge and then spin it and done, you know, like maybe take the time to forge the circle at the top and not do anything decorative, just boom, boom, done, and then cut a piece for a knocker, give it a little, hook on one end, and then sell those for like super cheap, and then make any extra money selling like custom knockers or, clangers, whatever they're called. What knockers? But like the, like take and do like twisted, or decorative.
Got to get me some of those.
Yeah, clangers. uh, but oh yeah, you put all the work into a project or something, and then somebody goes, I'll give you $25 for this because I can get the same thing at a gas station for 15. It's like,
Hey, Yamez, I'm going to have to check out here. The battery on my Bluetooth deal is going dead, and I'm hitting the highway.
yeah, actually, yeah, I gotta call it a show soon myself. I gotta get over to the next job.
All right, see everybody. See you next weekend. Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So y'all have a great weekend. Stay safe.
Yep, you too. Thank you, Solbert. Population density per square mile around me is probably around the area of 3 or 4 people. Forge and forget, forget and forge what until you find what works best for you in your local demographic. Absolutely. People around here really seem to like the roses. But yeah, with that, guys, I am going to give it a call. Everybody give a round of applause to yourselves and the people that were brave enough to enter the chat, the live chat, the voice chat. And you guys all have a safe day. Enjoy your Sunday. And hearts and health, everybody. Yeah, absolutely, Trail Dust. And Roy, yeah, a lot of people have been telling me that I should start selling my stuff online. So I might be, pushing into your market. Watch out. All right, guys. I'll talk to you all later. All right. Adios. Bye.